You see this word? APR. And then you see a number like 24.99% printed on a credit card like it's just a normal detail. Most people glance at it and go, yeah, interest, whatever. But that number isn't a fee. It isn't a warning label. It's a timer. And the moment you pay only the minimum payment, you start the clock. Welcome to FinCube, and in today's episode, I'm going to show you the credit card APR trap in plain English. Why minimum payments feel safe, why they keep you stuck, and the simple strategy that breaks the cycle. And there's one part of this that almost nobody explains, why the timing of your balance and your payment matters as much as the APR itself. That's the part that makes people feel like they're paying forever. We'll get to it. APR is basically the rent you pay for borrowing money. If your APR is 24.99%, the card is trying to charge you roughly a quarter of your balance over a year for the privilege of not paying it off right now. But here's why people underestimate it. You don't feel it all at once. You feel it like a slow leak, tiny bites, month after month. And because it's not one huge bill, your brain treats it like background noise. So people say, I'll deal with it later. APR loves later. Now, quick clarity. APR is usually presented as a yearly number, but the card doesn't wait a year to charge you. It's more like the card is counting days, which is why the trap isn't just the percent, it's the time you keep the balance alive. Now enter the most dangerous phrase in personal finance: minimum payment due. It feels like a finish line, like, if I just do this, I'm responsible. But minimum payments aren't designed to eliminate your balance quickly. They're designed to keep the balance alive. Think about it. If the minimum payment killed the debt fast, then APR wouldn't make much money. So the system nudges you into the barely surviving zone where money goes in and the balance barely moves. And that creates the emotional trap. You feel like you're doing the right thing while staying stuck. Here's the core mechanic that changes everything. When you pay your card, your payment gets split into two invisible buckets. Bucket 1, interest. Bucket 2, principal, your actual debt. And minimum payments often cover interest first, then maybe a tiny bit hits principal. So it's like you're paying rent before you're paying down the house. That's why someone can say, I've been paying this card for months, and the balance barely drops. You're paying, but you're not escaping. Here's the simplest way to picture it. If your balance is big, interest is big. If interest is big, most of your payment gets eaten. If most of your payment gets eaten, the balance stays big. That loop is the trap. Imagine your debt is a bathtub, and the faucet is the interest that keeps dripping in. Minimum payment is the spoon. It technically removes water, but the tub still looks full. Paying extra is the cup. The moment you pay extra consistently, the water level finally drops. And here's the part people don't realize. Once the water level drops, the faucet has less impact. Less balance means less interest, which means faster progress. So paying extra doesn't just help a little, it changes the entire speed of the payoff. Now let's open the loop. Timing. There are 3 invisible moments in a credit card month that matter: when you buy stuff, when the statement locks in, and when the payment is due. Here's the trap. If you carry a balance past the statement cycle, the card starts charging interest in a way that makes time your enemy. So even if you're making payments, the balance keeps living, and interest keeps taking bites. That's why someone can swear they're paying responsibly, but the debt feels like it's glued to them. This is also why "I'll just pay it off eventually" is dangerous. Because APR punishes slow payoff. It rewards long payoff for the lender. Now let's talk about why this becomes a lifestyle loop. When your balance doesn't move, you feel defeated. When you feel defeated, you lose motivation. And when you lose motivation, you swipe again. Because the problem already feels too big, so your brain says, "What's one more purchase?" That's how APR becomes more than a number. It changes your behavior. It turns your card into something that feels like relief in the moment and pressure in the future. So how do you break the trap? You need a strategy that attacks principle, not just symptoms. Here's the simplest rule. After you pay minimums, every extra dollar goes to the card with the highest APR first. Not the smallest balance, not the one you feel like, the highest APR, because that's the fastest leak. If you only remember one line from this video, remember this. Stop feeding the interest. Start starving it. Because once you push the balance down, interest has less surface area to grow on, and progress finally becomes visible. Here's a plan that works in real life. First, freeze new swipes on the worst APR card. Physically, put it away for a while. Second, pay minimums on everything so nothing goes late. Third, put every extra dollar toward the highest APR card until it's gone. Fourth, then roll that payment into the next highest APR. That roll is how you speed up without needing a miracle income jump. This isn't about being perfect. It's about not letting the timer run. Credit cards are designed by smart people whose job is to make the trap feel normal. This isn't financial advice, just a plain explanation of how APR and minimum payments work. So when you see APR, 24.99%, don't read it like a number, read it like a timer. Because the moment you pay only the minimum, you start the clock. If you like this content and want to see more, like and subscribe.